mean that we're not working the case. We will not identify a suspect until that person is identified as a suspect and we're legally seeking them.
Okay, that was a Law and Crime. Law and Crime. How you guys doing? So apparently they're outside of the courtroom. He is supposed to be being arraigned today, Nick Reiner. Let me pull you guys up in the chat. Chat up. Get myself organized. I guess it's not going to be an in-courtroom appearance. I mean, like, what I mean is cameras. I don't think there's going to be cameras inside, I guess, since we're looking at the outside. Rob Reiner, though, they're saying that this guy was staying in a hotel. And that hotel was bloody. Hotel room Nick Reiner fled to after allegedly murdering parents was covered in blood. The hotel room where Nick fled was after allegedly murdering her parents. 32-year-old suspected killer checked into the Pierside Santa Monica Hotel with a credit card around 4 a.m. on Sunday, just hours after he got into a bitter, yelling match with his legendary Hollywood director father, Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. The troubled drug addict seemed tweaked out when he checked in. Eyewitnesses told the outlet he was tweaking. That boy was on some shit when murdered his parents. Maybe they didn't want to pay his drug bill. Or maybe he didn't like the ultimatums that they would give him. Get clean or get out. Get out of this house. Get clean or get out. Let me just launch the multi-stream. So we can let people know that we're here. I'm not sure if you guys got a notification or not. Boom, 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 boom. Sick, demented kid, troubled. But some people think that, I don't know, maybe the father, who knows, did he do some stuff to him? Is the son going to make some allegations about the dad? Is he going to try to, he's going to go to the Menendez brothers, the Menendez brother route, where he accuses his parents of abuse. So he goes, after allegedly murdering his parents, he goes to this Pierside Santa Monica hotel, pays with a credit card on Sunday morning, just hours after a bitter yelling match. And they said that he seemed tweaked out, but there was no visible signs he had been in a violent confrontation. So where did all the blood come from? There was no visible signs. What are you talking about? However, when staff went to clean his room after he left early Sunday, they found a horrifying scene. The hotel was covered full of blood, and there was blood stains on the bed. The windows had all been covered with bed sheets. Damn. Nick was later busted and charged with his parents' murders and is being held without bail. Man, when you got money and you're in Hollywood, when you got that kind of connection and pull, you get held without bail. Rape, murder, do all kinds of horrific stuff, pedophilia, you're out on bail. $5,000, $10,000. Maybe you don't even have to pay bail. Murder a Hollywood icon, held without bail. Wow. The justice system. 78-year-old dad, the director of such classics as like When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men, was found stabbed and murdered to death in their Brentwood home. Witnesses say the troubled drug addict seemed tweaked out. Damn, what was he on? What was he taking? 17 stints in rehab since the age of 15. Damn. And I guess all these people in Hollywood are just watching this shit, right? They said he got into a big argument with his parents at Conan O'Brien's house. That's pretty wild. To have this huge fight at Conan O'Brien's house, you can't even control yourself. to wait until after you leave the house, have an argument with your parents or something. You're over here performing in front of all these people. It's got to be crazy. I can imagine what the hotel looked like. And I wonder why he put the bed sheets on the windows. The blood-soaked bed sheets covering the windows. For what? What was the purpose of that? Was it the voices in his head? Oh, I didn't realize I paused that. Oops. What if the daughter did it and pointed the finger at the problem child? That doesn't sound logical to me. The logical thing to me is the guy that's tweaked out on drugs with blood all over him and blood all over the hotel. Well, I don't know if blood was all over him, but they said there was blood all over the hotel because they saw him walk in. They said there was no signs of some type of altercation. See him being tagged. Oh, shit. That crazy chase that we covered this morning briefly. Katarina tagged me in a clip. Got a different POV. Let me show you. POV. Wild. Oh. Wow, that's the guy that got out and started running. So he was arrested. Imagine you just going about your day, Monday. This is 12/12 though. This is from 12/12. That wasn't this morning, was it? They tagged me in this. A police chase 30 minutes ago. Maybe the house. I guess I'm assuming the camera has the wrong date then. This says December. Maybe this. Oh, this must be a different chase then because we did Houston this morning. This one says Fort Worth home. This is a different chase from this morning. I clipped him too. Oh. Wow. Let me play. There is this video I wanted to play where apparently Nick is talking about his past on Access Hollywood. I'll put it in a smaller window. That's crazy, man. Because there's plenty of people that have addiction problems. I'm sure people, or dabble in drugs, whatever. They would never. It wouldn't even be conceivable to murder and kill your parents. Wow. He's probably had that within his mind all this time, and maybe now he finally, and a little bit the lack of inhibition and being high out of his mind, maybe he finally did it. He's probably always hated his dad.
Fiery to me. You seem like you might just...
I get crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to set me off.
I get crazy. You don't want to set me off. Wow.
Yeah. Were you ever worried that that Nick could shine poorly on your career or something like that?
No. That never crossed my mind. I mean, he's my son. I love him. It doesn't matter. He's more important than anything that could happen to me.
Charlie, what?
Yo, and the look on his face too. He's not even he doesn't even believe what his dad is saying. He's just like.
Crossed my mind. I mean, he's my son. I love him. It doesn't matter. He's more important than anything that could happen to me.
Charlie.
Wow.
Most of the movie parallel to your life, or almost all of it?
No, we took from our lives, but it's a fiction. I mean, Nick can tell you because he went through all of this, and I think you took from a lot of different people, didn't you?
Yeah, from my own experiences and from also seeing other people going through it, and also the varying establishments that I was in, you really get a sense for that whole world. So it's not like copy and pasted, but it's definitely derivative of, reality. Sort of like a 4-year process. Like first we started out with this like slapsticky half-hour comedy pilot that was horrendous, bad jokes and everything. And he looked at it and was like, eh. And then
I just felt he could go deeper. He could go deeper with it. I mean, it was funny, but I felt the subject matter, should allow him to go deeper with it.
Yeah, well, that wasn't said at the time. It was sort of just like, hey, this is trash. But anyways, we went along, and 4 years went by, and then I met up with Matt for a bagel in New York City, and we were like, what about that old script that we were, maybe there was some good stuff in there. And we went in, and we looked at one page, and we were like, this is terrible. And then, I just sort of wrote a new pilot, then got around to him saying, would you like to make a movie out of this? And we were like, we don't know how to do that. And then we just tried to do it.
Was it cathartic in a way to revisit the journey?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we went through a lot. I mean, we didn't do it to be cathartic, but it turned out that that's what happened. I mean, it forced me to understand a lot more of what Nick was going through, and I think it forced him to see what I was going through. And
Wendy Wobbles, thank you so much for the 5. Hold on, let me get your screen on your message on the screen. Get your message on the screen. I gotta figure out why I have to keep changing this option. After the stream, I'll have to look into it. But Wendy. Okay. Let's see. Should be fixed. Okay. Hi, Mel. Sorry about the misinformation I said yesterday about the Trump post. It wasn't intentional, and I was just going off a grok response. No problem. I don't remember what you said. I don't know what you said. Or I don't know. I remember something. Was that you? Somebody said something. A lot of people had things to say about Trump's post yesterday, whether you agree or disagree. I think it was in poor taste. I do, but I did a Rumble Premium earlier because I wanted to get my hours in, and I played some of the stuff that this guy had said about Trump in the past. Not that I still don't agree with what Trump said, but I can see where I guess maybe his anger comes from or whatever. But and he also pushed that Russia thing. I didn't know. They said Rob Reiner. I forgot what that lady said. He kind of pushed. He was behind the committee or something of this Russia thing. Look, committee. Oh, oops, wrong thing. Committee to investigate Russia, and you can see here. There's a lot more information on it, but Rob Reiner, director, actor, activist. But I think the guy's dead. He was murdered. It is what it is as far as his political beliefs and stuff. But I'm curious about the history, the past, his son. What is this? Is his son going to plead guilty, or is he going to try to plead not guilty and try to fight it? Is he going to claim mental health? He might as well. Everybody else is claiming mental health. Mental health. He's going to claim mental health. Is he going to say he has autism? Everybody's autistic now. Did you see the all those influencers popped outside of Rob Reiner's house? Reiner, sorry, I keep saying Reiner. I'll see if I can find a clip. There was some guy out there who was arguing with somebody, and he's like, I'm autistic, and they're trying to do this and that to me. I know Drama Alert posted it. Let me see. I saw a couple pages posted yesterday. Some kind of drama going on around the outside of the house. People playing music and stuff. I don't know what's going on. Here's one of the clips. This guy was something.
Hi. Hi. How you doing? Not well. Yeah. The gentleman over here was threatening me. Yeah, there's a lot he said, she said, he's a lot of...
I have everything on stream. I have thousands of viewers. I'll show you my footage. The guy tried to grope me. I have autism. I'm sitting here minding my own business. Guy kept grabbing me inappropriately. And I'm uncomfortable. I want to press charges. I want to press charges. Yes?
Let's go down there and watch it. Yeah, let's go watch it over there.
I'm going to leave my stream here.
That's fine. Please, we'll just go to the end. Just
Okay, job.
I'm leaving my stream here.
so we can see it, but it's a little bit quiet.
Gentleman over here is making threats towards me. My stuff was molested. I'm standing on what I believe in. For my in the chat.
Oh.
He touched my property, and he's invading my creative bubble.
Can you guys step back over there, please? Thank you.
I don't know what was going on. All I saw was like this clip, and I'm like, what? Huh? Okay. Well, I'm getting stuff sent to me, so I'll check it out. People are sending me stuff. Both feeds are off. Oh, did they turn them off? Oh, the 2 links that she sent me?
This morning,
yeah,
the FBI says it stopped a New Year's Eve bombing plot in Southern California.
Yeah, there was some feed. There was a different courthouse thing, and they stopped it. There was 2 different ones. This is the only one that I see now is this one that's active. The other one, yeah, they blacked it out. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay. Job. Okay, I got your DM. Let's see. Oh, Brian Enton, yeah. I don't know if I can play his whole video. We can skim it a little bit. Or we can listen to it. But definitely check out Brian Enton on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel, and he's doing stories, but more kind of like podcast type, which is kind of cool. It's nice.
Actor found dead along with his wife, stabbed to death. It's such a sad scene out here because you can see all the Christmas decorations and very festive time of year. The neighbors were telling me that a lot of times these gates were open and they'd be having parties, and it was the first night of Hanukkah when this happened. And police say that it was the Reiner's son who murdered them, who stabbed them to death, and it was actually their daughter, who lives very close by, who showed up here and discovered the bodies and then told police that she thought that it was her brother who did this, according to sources.
Right. That's what I was saying earlier this morning on the premium, that I had heard the daughter found the bodies and that she reported to them that instantly it's like she knew, like, I think this was my brother. He's and something like he's dangerous, reportedly, like.
We've spoken to. So in this episode, I'm going to go over everything new that I've learned about what happened, about what may have led to this, and then also you're going to hear from a woman who lives very close by, who I met with, who was here very soon after all of this happened. So I'm getting into all of that in this episode of Brian Enton Investigates. Hey guys, so I'm here outside the Reiner house. Been here all day pretty much gathering information and trying to sort out exactly what happened here. Again, it's just such a tragedy. Basically, what happened is on Sunday, it was around 3:40 in the afternoon when Los Angeles police got the call that Rob Reiner and his wife Michele Reiner were found dead inside their home, stabbed to death. And it was actually their daughter, who I am told by neighbors lives in the area, lives very, very close across the street, had come over to check on them on the first night of Hanukkah and got word that something may have been wrong, went in and found them dead and called the police. And then told the police that she believed that it was her brother, Nick Reiner, who may have been responsible for the killings. Nick Reiner has had a history of substance abuse issues, of mental illness, and I'm going to get into that in a second, and it's a very, very sad part of this story. So she told police who she suspected, which was her brother. I'm just looking at some of my notes here from earlier today. What's interesting is maybe when you guys were watching the press conference from that first night, there were a lot of questions about why in that press conference the police were saying that they were not going inside the house at that point. They were saying, oh, we don't have a lot of information, we're not even calling it a homicide yet, and we haven't actually gone in to search the house yet. And I learned today that is because the son, Nick Reiner, was residing inside the house. He was living in his house right now. And there's a California
But they say he was at a hotel.
law that if someone lives in the house, you have to get an additional warrant to actually go in and search when it's a criminal investigation. And obviously they didn't want to take any chances in terms of like having evidence thrown out later, so police were waiting for that warrant so that they could go in. So that's why that first police press conference was a little confusing, I'm told. Also, I'm told they did not want to let Nick Reiner at that point know that they knew he was a suspect then. That's why they were kind of playing it all close to the vest at that point. So according to sources who I've spoken to, they say that, and this is kind of just awful, but that Rob Reiner and his wife Michele had their throats cut, and that's how they were killed, which is just a...
And that's what I was wondering too about, like the throat slit. Like how did he catch him off guard? I'm gonna have to look. Maybe I have to ask Grok or something. And with the topic of Grok, real quick too, as Nicole sent earlier. Was it Nicole? No. Who was that? Oh, Wendy. Be really careful with this AI crap. I constantly, often, and double and trickle checking and verifying, and I'm questioning. Yo, send me the source for this shit, because the AI Grok is actually not bad. ChatGPT is horrible a lot of the times with information. There's been times where it's just making shit up out of thin air completely. I think they call it like AI hallucinations. Sometimes this ChatGPT thing will just start concocting random names, random people, and making shit up. It's insane. So be really careful about, what you read. I think the AI is really helpful. Like, I've solved so many problems with my computer, solved things without. So it could be an amazing thing. But you want to try to double check, if you have to, triple check, reference some of this stuff, because it's crazy. I'll be getting into arguments with this shit. Like, why did you concoct this shit? What's wrong with you? Why would you make some shit up out of thin air? And I find that ChatGPT is always really quick to like try to fact check or try to be politically correct. And I'm like, instead of trying to be so politically correct and always fact check things, why are you always wrong? Why the fuck are you always wrong? We should worry about that instead of trying to politically correct fact check crap. Anyway, sorry, that was my little AI rant. Let's see, Job, I got you, thank you. And said, Mel, if you want to fast forward to the female FBI agent that lives in the neighborhood, okay, perfect, thank you. Yeah, the throat slit thing, that's where I wanted to find out. I forgot, I thought they mentioned where in the house they were killed. How did he pull that off? Like, did he just surprise them? It was in the afternoon, I guess, so, like, were they taking a nap? I thought one scene was in the bathroom or something. Where were the parents murdered in the house? AI press conference, everybody ran out. Yeah. You know something the AI will do too. It'll have you going in circles like for hours if you don't like put a stop on it. Like it'll be redundant. It'll be telling you the same shit, things you already did. Anyway, so they were found in steps of death inside their home. Okay, I guess they haven't said where. Let me see.
Again, just terrible and awful to think about. And apparently after this all went down and police started to show up, Larry David and Albert Brooks were among some of the celebrities who showed up here to sort of see what was going on because they are friends with the Reiners. I'm just pulling out my computer because I had some more information on here. I'm going to get to in a second an interview I did. There's actually a former FBI agent, retired FBI agent who lives very, very close to here, who's a friend of mine who came over right away when she got word that something was going on over here, and she has a really interesting perspective on what she saw because she got here so quickly. So I'm going to have her full interview in a second, but I want to go over a few more of the details that we figured out today. TMZ is reporting that Nick Reiner, the son, right now is on suicide watch. He has been arrested. He has been charged with murder. He's in the jail in LA, and he is apparently on suicide watch, according to TMZ. Initially, his...
Which I think that's kind of standard. The suicide watch, I don't think it's... I mean, I'm going to look up that TMZ article, Nick Reiner. But I think that's kind of just like procedure. Oh, TMZ's been on this, covering this a lot. Yeah, suicide watch. Okay, he's on suicide watch and in the administrative segregation at Twin Towers Correctional Facility. That's what we're watching right now, I believe. Yeah, correctional facility. He's being held without bail. I wonder why. Oh, I guess maybe because maybe they're doing that because his family might have access to a lot of money, resources. So maybe I guess they don't want him to get out or dip out, leave the state, country. And so that there was a fight, they're saying, an argument at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party Saturday night. We're told the shouting match was loud enough for others to hear, and that Rob and Michele then left the party. We don't know if Nick left with them. A source told us that Nick looked out of place at the party, mostly keeping to himself.
His bond was set at $4 million, but that is now a zero. So he doesn't have a bond right now and is on suicide watch. And as we reported, prior to Rob and Michele stabbing, the son got into a very loud argument actually at a party on Saturday night, the night before, at Conan O'Brien's house. Apparently there was a Christmas party at Conan O'Brien's house, and Rob Reiner and his wife went and then took their son, and their son got into a fight with the dad at Conan O'Brien's party, and the reports are that other people saw this happen and that it was ugly. And also that Nick Reiner wasn't really fitting in. I guess it was kind of a dressy party and he was there in a hoodie and not really talking to anyone, and something just seemed off. And again, this was the night before the murders happened. So also, I mentioned some of the celebrities who came over here right after it happened. Billy Crystal, apparently also according to TMZ, and his wife Janice came over right after they got word, and they saw the slain bodies of Rob Reiner and his wife Michele. TMZ is reporting that they arrived at the scene in a flash because there were family members who called them about...
All right, let's pause it for a second. I was scrolling, right, because I'm just looking as we're listening to Brian Entin, and I came across this kind of crazy article. I might have been sent this earlier or not. I'm not sure because I haven't looked at everything yet sent to me, but this is crazy. See what this says here? It says Nick Reiner lost his virginity to sex worker paid with money stolen from parents, Rob and Michele. What? Nick Reiner once admitted to losing his virginity to a sex worker he paid with stolen money from his parents years before the arrest happened. I was just looking at different Craigslist profiles, and this one profile picture was just an ass shot. Damn, you didn't even... Well, I guess that's how it is, but just an ass shot, and you went to go... He revealed it on a podcast. The only thing that was on her profile picture, and it had a number, he detailed. I called her up, and I was about 14 years old or something, and her going rate was $200. Ugh. This is the part of the story that I don't usually tell, but I'll tell it anyway. I got $200 from my parents. Well, he clarified he didn't tell his parents what the money was for. I didn't say, hey, I'm going to be with a sex worker tonight. Do you think you have an extra $200? It was also like 1 a.m. She comes over. I didn't know how it worked, so I tried to kiss her. You tried to kiss her? Oh, man, bro. Oh, man. man. You need friends, man. You need some friends. Oh, jeez. You know something's wrong with you. Were you high at the time? Maybe he was high, and maybe he was already getting high. They said he had substance issues from a young age. That's kind of telling, too, though. From a young age, what was going on in the home? I don't know. Okay, but he tried to kiss her. Okay. She didn't want that. Oh, no wonder he's disturbed in the head. You got rejected by the wow. Okay. Describing the experience, Nick admitted to not finding the woman attractive, but not caring because he was young. I was like, this is awesome, he continued. I lasted 15 seconds, baby. I kind of felt like shit. But I was like, that's awesome. Then I realized I had more money on me, and I called her back, and she came for a second time. I never asked her name, and I never really got any specifics of anything. Explaining he ate a pop brownie before and was extremely blazed. Oh, man. Nick. Come on, bro. Ugh. But I still would have done it if I was sober. So he wasn't sober. Nick, who has been in and out of rehab, admitted to getting the idea to contact a sex worker online through a fellow outpatient rehab patient. On Sunday, Page 6 revealed that Nick had been arrested for the murders of his parents. Oh, man. Well. So this girl got $200 out of Nick for her 15 seconds. Her revenue time ratio is the only bright spot coming out of this age story. Jeez. All right. Wow.
The horrific discovery. I guess it was the Reiner's daughter who again came over, made the discovery, called police, but then also called Billy Crystal. So it was quite a scene out here when all of these people were showing up, including the woman who I'm going to interview here in a second. In terms of Nick Reiner's troubled past, his dad had apparently desperately tried to help him over the years. He'd been in and out of rehab. He had been homeless at one point. There was actually a film that they did together about him suffering from addiction and his mental health issues. He'd suffered with these issues since he was a teen, and they and the son co-wrote the film. It's called Being Charlie, about their mutual struggles and
yeah, man. I mean, honestly, that's not a good story and a good look for the parents. I mean, imagine it's your kid. I guess he came out after and told the story, but imagine it's your kid. You're like, yeah, I'm getting high at 14. Something's going on. And the sex worker stuff, and he's trying to make out with these sex workers. I guess he was young, and they say young, dumb, and full of. But no, you don't want to kiss these people, man, because you don't know where they're at, who they've been with, how many other people, in what place line are you for that day? How many guys has that person seen that day? Are you the 5th person, the 10th person? Oh, man. And, man, that young, man, you should be able to find a girl, man. You shouldn't have to pay for your first time, man. That's kind of dark a little bit.
Been taken into custody. He's expected to be officially charged today, and we say he could appear in court because that part is not exactly clear yet. But take a look. We have a family photo here where you can see Nick is pictured. The 32-year-old is the youngest son of Rob Reiner, and he is in custody as authorities take the next step in this case that has shocked Hollywood and the community here. The 32-year-old arrested Sunday night on suspicion of fatally stabbing his father, 78-year-old Rob Reiner, and his mother, 68-year-old Michele Singer Reiner. And today, the LA County DA's office is reviewing the case. They'll decide whether to formally file charges and what those charges will look like. There were some gruesome details here. The couple found inside their Brentwood home Sunday afternoon, discovered by their daughter, Rami, who called 911. Investigators say Nick wasn't at the home when officers responded, but they feel that he left. They believe he left sometime after the attacks, and detectives have been piecing together a timeline, including a heated argument between Nick and his father at a holiday party the night before. And we've also been learning that hours later, he checked into a Santa Monica hotel around 4 a.m. and He used his credit card before he was eventually taken into custody late Sunday night. So again, here we are outside the courthouse. We're waiting to hear on exactly what those charges look like for the couple's 32-year-old son as this high-profile case continues. For now, live in downtown Los Angeles, I'm Mario Ramirez. Ron and Celeste, we'll send it back to you.
So we're waiting. He's going to be supposedly officially charged today. He hasn't been charged yet. They're out. Everybody's outside of the courthouse, I guess, waiting. What are they doing, like a news hit?
Let me just wait until the 9:30 hit.
So that's in front of the courthouse. Everybody's just waiting. I wonder, yeah, it's probably just going to be charges. I don't know what else is going to happen today. I wonder if they're going to take his plea or not today. I forgot what we were talking about, man. This was kind of a crazy turn, the prostitute thing. I saw a couple people in the chat said, I've been smoking. They said they were smoking at that age. 14, 12, I don't know. I guess so. I guess a lot of people do. I don't think it's good, though. But I guess so. I don't know, man. I think this guy's problems are deeper. Because there's plenty of people that do drugs and, you know, they're not going to go kill their parents, man. Stab them like that. Yo, and to slit them in the throat, too. It's such a, like... I mean, I wonder if he walked up behind them and did it, not really facing them, or was he facing them? And I'm assuming there would have been blood everywhere, squirting everywhere. Like, that he must have, like, raged. Really in a fit of anger. And if he was probably high. I wonder what their arguments were about. What were their arguments about?
Rob Reiner actually directed that film, so that's something that the family had been dealing with for quite some time. And again, I mean, it was bad. There was drug problems that he had, and he was in his first rehab facility around his 15th birthday, I learned today. Went to rehab over and over again, ended up homeless at one point, living in other states homeless, Maine, New Jersey, Texas, homeless as a teenager. So he really, really had a troubled past, the son. But I don't think anyone expected that it would result in violence quite like this, where he would come into the family home where he was living and literally stab to death his mom and dad. So I think this entire community is shaken right now.
Well, the thing is, too, is like some of these people in rehab, you can still get drugs over there. They got ways. Half of those people in there are probably still getting high. Or like the halfway houses. You know, the people are getting high. They got ways to get stuff in there.
A lot of people here in Brentwood know them. Again, this was the time of year I'm told like these gates were open and they would be having holiday parties, and they were just really well liked from what I've been told today, just walking around the neighborhood. I'm joined now by Maureen O'Connell. You are a retired.
And apparently Michelle Obama and Barack Obama was supposed to see Rob Reiner that night. But of course things happened to murder. So this guy was like well-known celebrity, you know, obviously.
FBI agent.
Yep.
But you were actually out there last night.
Yes, I went there yesterday.
What happened?
I got a phone call from a friend, a Jewish friend, who had heard from a very good friend of the family that this tragic event had taken place. And my concern was that Jewish people were being, you know, targeted, because don't forget we had that huge, terrifying event on Bondi Beach. So I thought, could this be related? Could this be could this be happening all over the country, so to speak? So I just went over there and I talked to some of the neighbors that were outside. And one man approached my vehicle and he said to be very careful because the person they were looking for was on foot, the assailant was on foot, and that I should just be very careful, which I wasn't worried, but okay. And then I asked him what he had heard that happened, and he said both Rob Reiner and his wife have both passed away. And initial reportings were that one had passed away, but not the other. And so he said, no, now it's both. And, you know, unfortunately, that turned out to be true.
But supposedly, From something we were watching this morning, the mother, Michelle, was still alive or something, and the daughter got into the ambulance, and I guess she died on the way to the hospital. The father was already dead on scene, I believe.
Many people in the neighborhood say that the son, Nick, had been troubled his whole youth, and again, another tragedy, but to stab both your parents is just, and then for the sister to find them is just unbelievable on Hanukkah,
And the sister, does she live right there?
She lives right across the street, is my understanding from what the neighbors say. The neighbors say that they're just a very vibrant family. They have a lot of, they entertain a lot. They're just great. They're just, by all accounts.
Yeah, you could tell from the decorations at the house, it kind of has that vibe. Like it has a happy
it absolutely
feel
does.
to it.
Yeah.
Did you get any more information about what happened? We know that they were stabbed, but is there any more detail?
No, just from all the neighborhood blogs. What good does that? It's not true reporting, but people are saying that the attack was on their necks, or they were slashed.
Yeah.
Their throats.
Well, that's what we've been reporting too. Yeah. How soon after was it when you got there?
Pretty soon. Pretty close. It was, first of all, I could hear from my home, I could hear and see all the helicopters. I mean, like 4 or 5 helicopters circling. And so I knew right what part of the neighborhood they were in. And so I just rolled over there and vectored my way in from the helicopters.
Do you know why, when I was watching the press conference last night, they kept saying we're waiting on a warrant?
Yeah, you have to have a warrant.
Even when there's been a murder?
Well, they're not the only 2 people that live there. There's another, the son was a resident of that location. And it's just what we do in California, and it's a best practice, I would say, anywhere. And the reason you do that is because evidence can always be challenged, and in a big case, it's going to be challenged all day long. So they wanted to get a warrant so that they could, enter the evidence in a most secure fashion. That's just a best practice. There really isn't that much of a hurry because the bodies aren't going to go anywhere. And as long as you secure the interior of the residence with the people that are already inside, and if they're compliant, they can just sit there and they're watched by an agent or an officer, and in this case, an officer. And then even if they have to use the restroom, someone goes with them. Unless, someone would go with them. You don't want any destruction of evidence. You want to preserve everything as it was when you got there. And then when you get the warrant, then you start your search. But the initial entry into the residence is to determine if they're alive or dead, if they need medical attention, if they should go to the hospital, and also to determine if the assailant is in the house hiding in an attic, in a closet. You can do all that stuff. All that stuff would fall under the exigency. So you can look for all of that. But once that's done, the house is, that the assailant isn't in there. You sit everyone down, and you just wait. You wait for the warrant to be written and signed off on by a judge, and they work all weekend, 24 hours. You can go to their houses, if need be. And then they came back with the warrant and executed that warrant all night. They were I was on the FBI's evidence response team for many, many years. So they were doing large samplings of whatever blood was there, because oftentimes in a knife fight, the assailant gets cut also, and that puts them right there bleeding on scene. So they're not going to just take a swabbing of this and a swabbing of that. They're going to take multiple swabbings everywhere. And if the son was in there, if Nick was in the house, and he had cuts on his hands, that's something they're going to be looking for. Any type of defensive wounds.
Man, oh man, oh man. There's going to be an update later for the Rhode Island, the Brown University shooter. So there's going to have to be a press conference later. They're also they're going to be releasing enhanced photograph of the same person of interest. And I saw this yesterday. People were telling me, some people were saying like the search looks pathetic, but the Here's a snippet. People were kind of talking about this yesterday. I don't know, maybe people are training. Maybe people are training or something. It does look weird, though. It looks weird. Okay. Well. All right. What else about Nick Reiner, man? Reiner. Let's see here.
And that brought us closer together. And during the process of working on the film, it took about a year just working on the script. The first draft they wrote was like 190 pages. They had thrown everything in that they had gone through.
Manifesto.
Yeah, and as we shaped it and changed it, the whole process brought us closer together because we started understanding each other a little bit better.
I'm not going to listen to you tell me what a drug addict I am.
Tough, dear.
Careful, I'm one of your constituents now. You wouldn't want to lose the governor's race by one vote.
You can either head back to treatment or live on the streets. It's your choice.
I can't.
That's interesting. So they made a movie somewhat based off of their own life, and that was some of the things that I read, that he had threatened, like, go to rehab or we're kicking you out.
Tell exactly what got me into them besides the fact that I thought they were really cool and I just wanted to do them. But I think I heard this question a lot, and I think the only answer I can give for wanting to tell a story like this is that it's even more powerful to tell it about someone who is going through this and they're given everything and they're in an opulent situation and they're still deciding to go to the drugs. And that's more powerful than some, in our opinion, that's the only story that we know. We don't know any other story besides that.
And I think, it cuts across socioeconomic boundaries. I mean, if you look what's going on now with the heroin epidemic around the country, it's invading white middle class suburban neighborhoods. So it doesn't really it crosses all economic boundaries, and difficulties that you have are not relegated to only people who are unprivileged.
How bad did it get at home between the two of you?
It's reflected in the movie where the father character talks about how, he didn't know what to do, so he listened to anybody who had a desk and a diploma to do exactly what you're talking about. But the truth of the matter is, you have to be who you are. And I made mistakes in that I didn't go with my gut instinct and the feel, and I know Nick better than, some expert who's never met him. And I think had I listened to my own instincts, I would have done a lot better by Nick. But, you do.
That's crazy, too. I know Nick better than the expert, which I understand what he means to say that, but also look at what he did, right? There's a lady named Jane Fonda. And she was at the night at Conan O'Brien's house, and she had described Nick as acting erratic. Let me see. She said here, Nick was freaking everyone out, acting crazy, kept asking people if they were famous, an insider told the outlet. Another source claimed to Us Weekly that the screenwriter behaved creepily at the bash, while a third insider told TMZ that Nick looked out of place at the party, wearing a hoodie when the dress code was formal.
Do what you do. You're a parent and you think, here's my kid running out into the street, he's going to get hit by a truck, or you want to keep him safe. So you do what they tell you. You feel you're at their mercy. But what I feel after all of this is it's not about punishing. If somebody is struggling and has difficulties, you don't punish them for that. And I think a lot of these programs feel like the kid is being punished, and I don't think that's a great way to go. I mean, how do you feel about it, Nick?
About what part of it?
About what I was just saying about the idea of the tough love and all of that stuff.
I'm here, so it worked.
It was never about the drugs. All I ever wanted was a way to kill the noise.
Getting sober is a selfish thing. You gotta help yourself first.
For everyone, it's different. For me, the noise was basically, living in the family that I live in and catching heat for that sort of stuff. And also just...
For being a Reiner?
I guess, I mean, people would like to think that's a real bigger deal than it actually is, but it's really like, I was an emotional kid who had problems, and I just was not so fond of myself, so I kind of, had problems in that way. But in terms of the thing you were saying before, it's like, I think that our relationship was not as it was portrayed in the film. Like, there were this sort of like holding the line and being tough, but like, we didn't ever argue like quite like that. I mean, we did, I guess, to a degree, but it was never.
He was fiery. You don't seem very fiery to me. You seem like you might just.
I get crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
You don't want to set me off.
No. Some big blow-ups there.
No, we both can get
You
pretty.
don't roll easily either.
No, we can both get pretty hot, and there were times when we did get hot. But
you weren't like cold like that. He was very loving and compassionate. I just think that he didn't really know what to do.
What about Mom?
I didn't go to either of them because neither of them believed a word I said, but it was sort of like comforting to talk to her because she was a little bit more in touch with her emotions and how she felt about it. And he was sort of trying to, follow orders, I guess.
You went to, how many times did you go to rehab? You said, is it 18 times?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it had to come from you, so what was rock bottom?
There wasn't one. It's all rock bottom. It all sucked.
When did
Maybe now's rock bottom. I don't know. How do you deal with that too as a parent? Kick him out and never look back. How do you? I don't know.
What made you finally make it not a 19th?
I was just sick of it. I mean, it's hard to believe that you wouldn't get sick after 5 of them, but I mean, after 18, I was like, okay, I'm pretty bored of this. It wasn't like I want to go back to rehab. I was like, I'm sick of this cycle, this using drugs, it being so temporary, the fix, then going back into a place for months on end, then getting out and just, rinse, wash, repeat.
This being my life.
Yeah.
Do you believe, and they'll tell you, you're gonna die if you continue on this way? Do you think you would die, or did you still feel invincible?
No, I mean, of course there's that level of feeling that way, but I was, the rate I was going was probably not great. Gonna end up great.
Did you feel like, did you ever get close?
Yeah. Sure.
How do you manage it now? Do you go to AA meetings regularly? And
I found that those weren't as helpful for me as things like staying active and replacing replacing the activity that you were doing before with stuff that's healthier, like working out, if you can afford it, going to a therapist, as well as having a good, support group of friends. I have that, which is lucky, and not everybody has that. And I have supportive parents.
And you also found work that you love. I mean, you found his writing, and that's something that, he likes to do, and he works with his friends doing that, so.
Can you be in a room now where people are drinking or smoking pot or something, or do you consciously avoid those situations?
No, I want to be there when they're doing that, because I don't want to feel alienated, like I'm some, special case, or I don't want to feel any different or alienated. I just want to be part of the crew again, and just not do that other stuff.
Nick, what do you do when that little voice comes in and says, let's do something, let's use or something? How do you get over that?
I just replay what's happened every single time when I decide to give into that voice, and it's never been good. So it's just like, if I look at it from like a mathematical standpoint, the statistics are like 0 for it going well. So
yeah.
Were you ever worried that?
Oh shit! Oh shit! Breaking news. Are you guys ready for it? Are you gonna be in the chat? Just say it already. Breaking news. Check this mother effer out. Put it on the screen. Oh shit. Exclusive. Nick Reiner hires defense attorney Alan Jackson in his murder case. That's the Karen Reed defense attorney. This is exactly who you need when you did some fucked up shit and you're actually and you're trying to get off. This is the guy you need. Oh. This is who you need on the case when you're an evil fuck. to try to get you off. It could work. It could work. Wow. Mamma mia. Wow, 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 wow. Alan Jackson's in my corner. Nick Reiner is calling in the heavies after being arrested for allegedly murdering his famous parents. Because Alan Jackson tells us Nick hired him as a defense attorney. Alan is one of the best criminal defense attorneys out there, and he's no stranger to high-profile cases like Karen Reed, who got acquitted of murder. As you know, Nick was booked on murder charges after Rob and Michele were found dead. We saw Alan heading into Los Angeles courthouse Tuesday for some legal proceedings related to Nick's case. Wow. He's the man for the case. Wow. Okay. I'm going to see what you guys are saying in the chat in a second here. The man for the case. Where's Nick getting the money from? His parents? I know they're dead, but... So he's going to... I'm assuming, is he going to plead not guilty? Or is he going to try to use his history of drugs as a pass? Get out of jail free card? Wow. Interesting. I mean, I can't say it's a bad move on his part, I guess, on his part. So I guess there's no remorse. I was questioning earlier, like, I wonder if this guy feels remorse about his parents. I guess there's no remorse. Wow.
That Nick could shine poorly on your career or something like that?
No, that never crossed my mind. I mean, you know, he's my son. I love him. It doesn't matter. He's more important than anything that could happen to me. I care more about him. He's most important, and Jake and Romy and my family, they're the most important. So that doesn't factor in.
What is your advice, Rob, to parents who might be in this situation with a kid that's struggling?
I think listen to your kids. Go, try to spend as much time you can with your kids. Try to understand your kids, and don't punish them because, this is my opinion. In my opinion, the reason they're taking, whether it's drugs or alcohol or gambling, whatever they're doing it because there's a pain. There's something inside they don't feel good. They don't feel good about themselves, and they're self-medicating. So try to understand why it is they're not feeling good. Kids that don't use drugs at all, just going through teenage years, is difficult. So you have to just stay with them and try to understand as best you can. And whatever you do, don't be punitive, because I don't think that helps at all.
What worked for you that mom and dad did, and what didn't?
Everything. What worked is when they kind of were like, you know what? They turned their back and they were like, you got to figure it out for yourself. You're an adult now. This is getting old. Sort of not like we don't care, but just I don't know.
Nick, if Dad said from the very beginning, God, I love you. I think it seems to be in terrible pain, and I hope you work it out. No, I always love you. And do you think you would have, instead of it would have been a shorter journey? Maybe not 18 rehabs, you might have gotten there quicker, or no?
I think it needed to happen the way it happened. I was a real nutcase. I was crazy. And I just, it was more than drugs. It's really always about more than that. And I needed a lot of that sort of discipline. It's life.
There's going to be an update too coming up with this case. So I'm going to start scheduling and setting up a stream. Phone's blowing up. I can't even focus. Okay.
beach lifeguard just showed up.
Sharing your film, and congratulations, Nick, on writing a great movie.
Okay. Wow. Mamma Mia! Karen Reed, Alan Jackson. Boys moving on to bigger things, bigger cases. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. All in the name of Jesus. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Be working on your thumbnail. That boy's making moves. He may have been high, may have had drug problems, but he's making moves. He knows what he's doing. I think he's going to come out with some crazy shit. Nick, in order to try to get, he's going to have to try to garner some type of sympathy from the public. So the only way for him to try to come up is he's going to have to go the Menendez brother route. That's the only way. But the FBI agent said that gossip was he was schizophrenic and off his meds. Okay, well that's gonna maybe they'll play a part of it. The description of behavior is similar to schizophrenic type of behavior. Insanity plea is going to be his defense. Oh, okay. Yeah. He's going to have, well, maybe he'll go that route then. I guess he'll go the mental health route, schizophrenic, plea insane. I thought he was going to dump on his parents and just be like, his dad did this, dad did that, or something like that. But maybe that'll be the route he'll go. Mental health. He's had struggles with drugs and, pills or whatever drugs it is that he takes. And maybe he'll have to be in a facility for the rest of his life or something. Like a nice, cozy, low security, TV, beds, all kinds of amenities, hotel-like stay. Maybe that's where he spends the rest of his life. Alan Jackson, man. I mean, another high-profile case for Alan. The devil's children, the devil's at play. Satan's children. Satan's rejoicing. Let me see what else. If we got some other live. So there's going to be an update coming up. So I'm going to work on scheduling a live for that. Let me see what else we have with Nick. The DA is going to be giving an update.
Breaking right now at 3, Hollywood is in mourning and police.
Oh, Menendez brothers, those are the guys. It's an old story, but it's still relevant now because they were trying to get off, were trying to get out, and they claim that their parents were abusing them. But the Menendez brothers, they did some crazy. They blasted their parents like overkill, blasted the shit out of them, and then went on a shopping spree for days, spending mommy and daddy's money. Kill their parents. And then they said it's because they were being abused and they were in fear for their life. So they murdered their parents. The way they did it was Lyle and Eric Menendez, they were 21 and 18 at the time, entered the den of the family's Beverly Hills home where their parents Jose and Kitty Menendez were sitting on the couch watching TV and eating ice cream. Armed with a 12-gauge Mossberg shotguns they had purchased days earlier in San Diego, the brothers opened fire at close range. They fired a total of 15 rounds. Jose was shot multiple times, 6 to 9, including point blank to the back of the head. Kitty was shot multiple times, around 10, including she attempted to crawl away. She was crawling. And I believe the story is they went over to her and finished her off. The attack was extremely violent, with some shots fired after the parents were already down. Massive blood loss and disfigurement at the scene. After the shootings, the brothers reloaded and disposed of the weapons and bloody clothing. And along Mulholland Drive, bought movie tickets as an alibi and returned home. So, yeah.
Police investigating after Rob Reiner and his wife Michele Singer were murdered in their Brentwood home. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Annabelle Sedano. Since NBC4 broke the story yesterday afternoon, the couple's 32-year-old son, Nick, has been arrested and booked on suspicion of murdering his parents. This is one of the family's last public appearances at the premiere of Reiner's last film, Spinal Tap 2, in October. In Hollywood, fans are leaving flowers and tributes to the award-winning actor, director, and producer as civic leaders praise the couple for their commitment to fighting for social and economic justice. NBC4's Alex Rosier joins us live outside the Reiner home
according
in
to the
Brentwood
local photographer
with new
from
details
Huntington Beach that
surrounding the
covers
famous family. Alex.
Annabelle, a source close to the family tells NBC News that both Rob Reiner and his wife Michele Singer were found dead inside their Brentwood home behind me with stab wounds, and hours later police arrested their son Nick, who's spoken publicly about his long history with drug use. Today, as the world remembers legendary actor and filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michele, the investigation continues into their murders.
I'll share what we can.
This morning, LAPD Chief Jim McDonald said hours after police found Rob and Michele dead inside their Brentwood home, officers arrested their son.
We have our robbery homicide division handling the investigation. They worked throughout the night on this case and were able to take into custody Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case.
Just after 9 p.m. Sunday night, the LAPD took Nick Reiner into custody in Exposition Park near USC. Two sources told NBC News that on Saturday night, Nick joined his parents at a party hosted by Conan O'Brien. The sources said Nick was interrupting conversations and disruptive during the party. The 32-year-old spoke publicly about his long history with drug use. His experience inspired a 2015 film he co-wrote with his dad called Being Charlie.
Let me see those. My mother's aunties.
It's a story of a father in politics with a son who was addicted to drugs.
You've had plenty of choices, Charlie. Rehab or jail. Quite a wide selection there.
J.D. Heyman, the founder of the entertainment newsletter Culture Wag, knew that film meant a lot to Rob.
I can say that he felt that it was an important step for them as father and son. He didn't say that it was some kind of cure-all for the issues that they may have had, but simply that it was a wonderful experience.
And now, nearly a decade after the film premiered, Nick is now in jail, suspected of killing both of his parents.
Anybody who knew Rob and Michele knew what dedicated parents they were and how much they cared for all of their children.
JD says this is a significant loss.
Certainly one of the most important filmmakers of his generation in the entertainment community, a leader. I think anybody who had any contact with his family is just shocked, horrified, and deeply saddened that this has happened to really good people.
Nick Reiner remains in custody right now, held with no bail. We are expecting him in court later this week. In a brief statement shared with Variety, the family said it is heartbroken by this sudden loss and they've asked for privacy at this time. We're live in Brentwood. I'm Alex Rosier, NBC4 News.
Begin with the latest in the killings of Rob Reiner and his wife Michele. The couple's son Nick could make his first court appearance as early as today.
Mario Ramirez has been following the story. He's live at the criminal courts in downtown LA with the very latest. Mario.
Good morning. That's right. We know LAPD investigators are expected to present the case to the DA's office, and from there, prosecutors will decide whether and how to officially charge 32-year-old Nick Reiner. He's now officially been named a suspect in the killings of his own parents. Take a look. You can see this family photo where he's pictured. Police say their youngest son, Nick Reiner, is now the focus of this murder investigation that'll soon be in the hands of prosecutors. Authorities confirming the 32-year-old was arrested Sunday night on suspicion of stabbing both his parents to death inside their Brentwood home. The couple, Rob Reiner, 78, and Michele Singer Reiner, 68, found dead Sunday afternoon by their daughter, Romy, according to TMZ. Nick was not at the house when police arrived. Detectives believe he left sometime after the attacks. Meanwhile, the night before, Nick was seen at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party, where an argument reportedly broke out between father and son. Take a listen.
There was some kind of argument that transpired at the party, and this argument was so animated, so loud that we're told people that were at the party overheard the commotion, and it's unclear exactly what the argument was about, but we're told that Rob and his wife were so upset they actually left the party immediately after.
Nick Reiner has never been shy about being very open and very public about his struggles with substance abuse. Rob and Nick teamed up for a movie.
Nick's struggle with addiction and mental health issues depicted in that movie, Being Charlie, a semi-autobiographical movie Nick made with his father back in 2016. Now, Rob Reiner once said that project forced them to understand each other better and helped them to feel closer despite years of strain. TMZ also reporting after that argument Saturday.
There was an opera singer, a man, he was recently killed by his son too, and I think I'm gonna have to look it up. I think they said that the guy's son also was like schizophrenic or something. So this might be a strategy for Nick. This might be a strategy for Nick that he's, if he really was taking meds, he can show that he was taking meds. There's this long history of drug use, abuse, and therapy, and it might be a defense. I don't know how that's going to play. It's going to be a dirty trial, though, for sure, because the prosecution's going to have to, pull out the dirt and show that this guy. I don't know how they would prove it. I don't know what they would show, but let's see. Okay, I have the live stream, the other live stream coming set up for when I get back.
Night, Nick checked into a Santa Monica hotel early Sunday morning before the attacks and was taken into custody later that night around 9:15. Now, Nick is in custody. He's being held without bail. Again, he could appear in court as early as this morning. We'll be following this for you with updates on Good Day LA. For now, live downtown, I'm Mario Ramirez. I'll send it back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Mario. People on social media have been posting pictures.
Jubilant Sykes. Jubilant Sykes. Let me look that up real quick. Jubilant Sykes. Yeah, he was stabbed and murdered. Oh, it's a California story, too. And check this out. I keep telling you, these kids will kill you, man. It's crazy. It's scary.
Nominated opera singer Jubilant Sykes has been charged with murdering his father. Investigators say 31-year-old Micah Sykes killed his father in the family's Santa Monica home on Monday night. And this afternoon, he faced a judge. Eyewitness News reporter Ashley Mackey live in downtown LA with the latest on this case. Ashley?
Michelle, new tonight, 31-year-old Micah Sykes made his first court appearance today since his arrest. Sykes, accused of murdering his father, made a few outbursts in court today, but ultimately waived his right to a speedy arraignment, asking to push it to February. Police say Micah Sykes was taken into custody without incident after his father, 71-year-old renowned opera singer Jubilant Sykes, was found stabbed to death in his Santa Monica home Monday evening. When police arrived, Jubilant Sykes' wife met them at the door. The Grammy-nominated singer, whose career spanned decades, was pronounced dead at the scene. Noting that Jubilant Sykes' wife witnessed the incident, the deputy district attorney asked the judge to raise bail from $4 million to no bail, citing public safety. The deputy district attorney also told the court Sykes was diagnosed with schizophrenia in 2007 and claimed he may not have been properly medicated at the time of the incident.
If released or if able.
That's crazy because, you love your kids and then they, I don't know if they get this mental health stuff, schizophrenia. What do you do? How do you deal with that? I don't know, man. The doors would have to be locked. There's no knives. Everything has to be locked. The knives have to be in a lock cabinet. I don't know. How would you even deal with that? Why is these people killing their parents? I still don't understand. With all this, even if we have all this stuff, I guess the voices in their head maybe. I got an update for you guys too.
People are concerned that the public safety will be in jeopardy and that additional victims may be harmed, as well as the the defendant's mother who did witness the incident. The defendant is homeless, has nowhere to go other than the location where this incident took place. And again, people are concerned for. I don't see my mother here. People are concerned for that person. This person is not concerned whatsoever.
A protective order for Cecilia Sykes was issued. Family members of Micah Sykes were in court today. The DA told the court they wanted him to know they love him. The arraignment is pushed back to February.
Yeah, these medications too, man. These medications that are supposed to help with these diseases or whatever diagnosis. It's like a guess. It's like, all right, here, take this. Let us know if it works. You have to take it for a couple of months, let it get into your system or whatever. Let us know if it doesn't work, I'm gonna take a guess at the next medication and give you that. And if that doesn't work, you come back and let us know in a couple of months. And if that doesn't work, we'll give you something else, and we're just gonna guess. We're just gonna keep guessing. It's just random shit. Whatever your body takes to. Rob and Michele Reiner's son, Nick, not medically cleared for a court appearance, apparently.
So no appearance today, there's no appearance.
I know this guy's had Alan Jackson. That man's woof.
So no appearance today, there's no appearance.
Hey guys,
Your
out of the way so you can get through.
To represent Mr. Reiner. And his reason for not coming today, I know you talked about it on the elevator, but why isn't he here?
Every inmate has to be medically cleared before they can be transported to court. He has not been medically cleared. It's just a procedural issue.
Yeah, that's some. Let me see. I can't really talk because my hair is kind of, That's a crazy ass sideburn. What's up with that sideburn? I'm not. Is that normal? It's just like a half sideburn or something? Maybe somebody messed up. Maybe that's just the style, I guess. Maybe that's just the style. Like it doesn't connect all the way,
And where's Mr. Reiner now, currently?
MCJ,
okay.
Vince County Jail.
And just to triple confirm, the murder case has not been filed yet.
I have not received any filing. And I don't believe.
So he wasn't cleared for court today. He did have a court appearance, but it wasn't cleared for court, so he's not.
The court has received any filing at this point.
Have you spoken to your client at all?
I'm not commenting any further than what the procedure of the court today is.
How was your client's spirits today?
Not here. That's the whole point. He's not here yet.
Can we expect a hearing tomorrow?
We'll be back day to day. The bailiff has indicated that the sheriff's department will take it on a day by day basis, and so hopefully he'll be cleared tomorrow, and we can get him there.
And again, the reason why we're not having it today.
Oh my goodness! How many more times do I have to say it?
Sorry.
3 more. Eric, why is he not here today?
He's not been medically cleared.
That's right.
Not medically cleared.
Correct. Every single inmate goes through a medical clearance before they can be transported to court. Every one. And that's a process. It's just a procedural issue. And he has not yet been medically cleared. So we'll be there hopefully tomorrow.
Man, dude. So he's not been cleared. Okay, so he's not there yet. The DA is talking soon. I guess they're gonna have like a press conference, so we'll cover that when they start a little later. So yeah, he will not appear in court today. We thought he was. I guess not. He doesn't have medical clearance. Prosecutors were expected to decide whether and how to officially charge Nick with killing his parents, but that's going to have to wait. Nick's defense attorney, Alan Jackson, says his client is not medically cleared to appear in court. Alan Jackson is a big, notorious attorney. He represented Karen Reed recently. This is the woman that was accused of hitting her husband and killing him, or boyfriend, and she got off. 2 trials, got off. So, and I thought Alan Jackson represented. Did he represent Harvey, or was that the other guy? Let me double check. Did he represent Harvey Weinstein, or was that the other guy? Oh, he didn't represent Harvey Weinstein. Okay. Oh, no. He did. Yeah, he did. Criminal defense attorney. Yeah, he did represent Harvey Weinstein in 2022. Yeah. Okay. So, as we first reported, Nick is on suicide watch at the Men's Central Jail in L.A., where he's being held without bail. Jackson said this morning that he has not received any filings from the prosecutors, and he doesn't believe the court has received any filing either. And the DA is going to have a press conference, so I'm curious to see what they're going to say. Maybe it's just formalities or the charges that's coming. And they're saying this guy, Nick, has been acting very strange at the party the night before. Nick lived at home with his parents, but after the alleged murders that he did, allegedly, he opted to check into a hotel room around 4 a.m. using his credit card and made a reservation just for the day, but he never formally checked out, and they said there was blood all over the place. When the staff came into the room later Sunday morning, they found the shower full of blood, which I'm assuming maybe he was trying to take a shower and wash the blood off of him, and there was blood on the bed. Guy was covered in blood. Damn, man. Now they're saying he's trying to play crazy. Some people can have issues and also be evil, I think. I mean, both could probably be true. And then it's just like, oh, yeah, well, I have this condition, so that's why I did it. I wonder if he's always hated his father. What were we looking at just before that? So, yeah, he's not in court. Oh, big news. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's the story for later. All right. I guess that's it for now. I am going to the YouTube stream. I'm going to transfer you guys to the next stream. I have it for 3. Do I have it for 3 o'clock or 2:45? I have it set for 2:45. I should be back by then, but the press conference is at 3, so we'll start a little bit early and hang out on Rumble or everywhere else, Facebook. I'll relaunch the stream at 3 o'clock for the DA. The DA is supposed to speak on the Reiner murder case. I know. I wonder, could that be? Where's Nick getting this money to get this attorney? From his parents? All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. I'll see you in a little bit. Gotta go pick up my daughter in a little while. So, all right. See you guys later.